Brilliant. So for this one, quite exciting, Agentic economy, we will have Alessandro Prandini, co-founder of Unflat, limone.eth, co-founder of urbe.eth, Stanislaw Koper, I really hope I pronounced that correctly, founder and head design of Web3 and Canary protocol, and Ludovico Rossi, Brickken, CRO and co-founder. Have fun, guys.
Thank you.
Bam, GM, everyone. Welcome to our panel. This is going to be an exciting one. We have some amazing people on stage. So first of all, I want to get everyone to introduce them, about themselves and what they do in the space.
Should I? Yeah. So I'm Limone, I'm from Rome. I'm one of the co-founder of urbe.eth. We are Web3 community founded in Rome. We have an Ethereum hub. It's one of the 7 that the Ethereum Foundation opened around the world, and we're also the organizers of it Rome. So in the past years, we built, it's been 4 years now that the community has been alive. We've been focusing on educating more builders to join the space, for starting with Solidity, then, of course, ton of hackathons and more, let's say, general experiences for bringing more people closer to this technology, showing the potential first. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Great. So I'm Ludovico, Chief Revenue Officer and co-founder of Brickken. We are an RWA protocol designed for tokenizing RWA, of course, and financial instruments, and is designed for private markets, so primary and secondary, but only private. We are based out of Barcelona, 5 years old. We count with more than 500 millions tokenized already, more than 150 clients. I think we are the biggest tokenizer in the world at the moment. And also, on the other hand, we tokenize in more than 30 different countries. So it's going well, let's say.
Thanks. I am Alessandro, co-founder of Unflat. I am in this space since 2015, before as a passion and after as a work. Basically, I'm building Unflat. Unflat want to build the next deposit account for the European saver on a stablecoin. And also, we are building AI Morgan. AI Morgan is the next wave of agentic economy. We want to give to all the agents the possibility to invest and earn from his stablecoin.
Bam, thanks guys. And on my end, I'm from Canary Protocol, head Degen, where we do verification infrastructure for cross-chain transfers. We secure about $40 billion and do about $1 billion every month in cross-chain volume. And then founder of Weaving Web3, where I share stories of founders, projects, a full production studio where we can tell your story and why you matter. And going on to the main question, the agentic economy. I'm sure there's many people that may not understand what it is or are really interested in it. Some people think it's just ChatGPT or Claude plugged in, you give it some credits, maybe USDC, and it's trading. But there's a lot more to it, isn't it? So from your perspective, what is the agentic economy and how are you building it and empowering it from your end?
Yeah. So, agentic economy is a big shift in finance. Absolutely. So if blockchain was already a financial revolution, then we have like the second layer that is agentic economy. So now really we have, when you open a chat on ChatGPT, that's already an agent and a simple one. But the thing is that, the interactions on chain and between financial institutions or even the pips like us or any kind of transaction in the future will be run by agents. So now we are in the moment that we are designing actually those rails in order to trust, because actually we need, and the trust layer is still missing. Okay, a lot of agents, but how can we trust each other? How can they interact between themselves?
Yeah, I guess, I spent the past 4 years, of course, building a lot of different applications and use cases on Ethereum, consumer-facing use cases mostly, and I feel like many of the primitives that and the standards that the ecosystem has been pushing for years, we try to fit them for like human use cases. I'm thinking about DAOs, for example, right? There's or other like type of smart contracts or scenarios or use cases. And what I want to say is that all these primitives that we try to force on humans to use, and it's been very hard on the adoption side of things, as we all know. I think when it comes to agents, they are perfect. They enable like so many new things, and that's why I'm so excited about it. And I started experimenting, of course, with a bunch of different like protocols, SDKs, and such, because I feel like the infrastructure that Ethereum has been like laying down in the past years, it's perfect for what agents need to do autonomously with the right guardrails, permissions, automations, unique properties, let's say.
So my idea is pretty simple. We are giving to agents a lot of money, and in the next year, all the economy will be run by agents. But these agents have a big problem. They are noobs. They don't know how to spend and where to spend. So what we need to bring is a knowledge layer. So basically, thanks to this layer, all the agents, all the economy can be pushed in the adoption. Because now the agents are good, they can do some little stuff, but in order to be a mass adoption, we need to build the layer of knowledge. And in the Web3 economy is perfect for this use case because it's for machine and we are building for machine. So basically, we are bringing new type of business with like X for zero shoe. Thanks to them, we can have new type of business models. So basically, we need to adapt this revolution to our agents.
I just wanted to point something out. You mentioned X402. Would you be able to explain to the people what that is in like more in simple terms, and how does that affect the agent economy?
Basically, is a gateway done by Coinbase, where thanks to this, the agents can pay, basically USDC. So it's a gateway payments, and it can unlock new type of business models. So in the example of knowledge layer, the agents can pay you in USDC thanks to these gateway payments in a simple manner without the human interface. And so this is a very big use case. And basically, we can see also with the bazaar of Coinbase, where there will be a marketplace like Amazon, but for agents economy. So basically, in this moment, there is a lot to do.
Can I add something? So basically, yeah, the X402 is this protocol where an agent can just pay-per-use an API and just pay the call, right? So the thing is, what if, no? Usually API is a SaaS model and everybody's talking about like a SaaS is that, whatever. But the thing is, when do I have to pay a call like a fraction of a cent? How is that possible, right? So, and how can be instant? So that's where actually AI meets blockchain, and blockchain is really needed. So we will see like an increase in volume in stablecoin transaction, etc. And that's beautiful because we can have now atomic swaps and really paying per one call like half of a cent of a dollar. And that's not possible in this existing system, and it's only possible on chain, as we all know, that we can really fractionalize, any kind of token, stablecoin, whatever it is.
Yeah, just to add a bit of context on X402, it's an open standard, and that's a very cool thing to me because, of course, it can be extended to many different use cases. I think it's worth to mention also the work that Stripe and Tempo are doing with this. There's a machine payments protocol that they released a few months ago, and it's actually built. It's extending X402, implementing it as well, but allowing also like other type of machine and agents payments use cases using cards, Stripe, or any kind of thing. And it's built on HTTP. It's a standard that was built, I think, back in the 2000s. So, and now Coinbase like brought it back to life.
Awesome. And something that I also wanted to build on top of that, how do we earn that trust? Because I think I've built my own AI agent and I sometimes give it money to buy me things, but I don't fully trust it. And how are we essentially enabling that trust layer and that knowledge layer that you guys are talking about to essentially allow that mass and easier adoption? Because I feel like it's quite complicated to actually build your agent and actually then set it out. So how do we enable like the people in this room and the normal people to actually accept this as the new standard, right?
So basically, at the moment, is stuff for tech guys. and for nerd guys like us. The challenge is what we have told. So we need to cut all the technical stuff and to bring huge use cases for the normal people of the street. The problem now is that the market is very small, it's just emerging, but the challenge is huge because, I mean, or in my opinion, in 2-3 years, it will be very simple. Have agents, your own personal agents, in order to do all the stuff regarding pay the bills, invest money. It is my vision. But at the moment, it's something for the tech guys.
On top of the X402, there is another open source standard that is the ERC 8004. Actually, that's really trendy at the moment, and the cool stuff is that also two of the creators, co-authors, are Italians, and one is based in Milan, one in San Francisco, SF, and one is from MetaMask, and the other one from Ethereum Foundation. So, I mean, we are bringing innovation actually in the space. And for this standard, the 8004, is basically the pedigree for the agent, so it's like the ID. So now you can tokenize your agents in the sense that you can give it an hash, like an NFT, and you can recognize your agent. So now you can give also skills, whatever, and the other functionalities to that agent, and now can transact with other agents. So imagine the company A, or my company, talking with the company from Limone, and actually they are transacting and trusting themselves, no? And actually these are simple transactions, are not trading security, we can get there afterwards, but this is a really trust layer that is needed in the space, and is, I don't know how many agents are already registered, like, I also lost track, maybe we are above like 200,000 already, and it's still in review phase, it's not even like an official ERC.
Yeah, I think one cool property that this standard you were talking about, 8004, is bringing to the table is also the possibility for other agents to leave reviews on chain that can be verified by each other. So, of course, there's still a big work to do on the network effect side of things, because, of course, if there are like 200,000 agents, but we don't know any of them and they don't interact with each other, they are not sending feedback to each other, and maybe the feedback that they get, it's not a trusted feedback, so there's a lot of like work that still has to be done there in terms of like distribution and adoption of this standard, but at some point it should be like self-fulfilling somehow. So the more agents, the more people are going to use agents, the more reviews and feedbacks we could have on some agents, and the more reputation that we will build on chain, and of course like composable and verifiable, the easier it will be to trust these kind of use cases.
Amazing. So something that you do yourself is focus on the identity of the agents, right, Limone? So why do we need to give the identity to these agents? Like, how does that work?
Of course, there's a big spam problem when it comes to, like building an agent, leaving it in the wild and having it like do things. And many of these 8004 registered agents are spammy agents. So like they are not really worth it, let's say. And so one of the experiments that we built in collaboration with the AI team of the Ethereum Foundation indeed is this open startup called Sign In with Agent, CY.ID. If you want to check, it's open source. And we try to, like build this protocol to enable agents identifying themselves. So if you have a service, a server, an MCP, you're selling something to an agent, you can actually implement this open standard in a way that it already like does a lot of like groundwork when it comes to verifying the agent identity on 8004, for example. So maybe you can you want to be sure that agents interacting with your use case, with your product, with your service has a certain reputation, it's a certain type of agent, it's verified by XYZ. And so we try to build all this boilerplate code basically that all these services will need to do in the future in order to make sure that good agents are actually interacting with them.
The problem of trust of agents is a huge problem right now. There are a lot of startups of projects that are trying to solve this, but this is the next big challenge to agents, because we need to avoid the spamming and or also malicious actors in order to build the trust in agents in agent economy.
I do think that it is, and it is because of a lack of data on chain, actually. So this year, actually, what I'm seeing is that the real trend, the real big leap that we are taking all together is bringing all the data on chain. And that overlap with this new cycle that is agentic economy, starting using AI. And this is a huge stuff, actually. So if we really agree that in the future all the economy will be based on blockchain and run by agent, then we need to push all the data there. And then the agent can be really trustable, getting right reviews, etc., interact between them, etc. And I don't know if it's already the next question, but if we want to like scale this, okay, let's say that, for example, on Rails, the blockchain, we have private entities that are banks that are interacting between them, and you guys are all the users. Then when you want to invest, and you give the money to the chain, to the bank, and they're gonna invest and place the order for you and buy options, bonds, private credit, whatever you want, then it will be an agent, right? So how can that agent interact with the security, for example, okay, and a financial instrument and be trusted? Because he's interacting for me, or for Simone, for Alessandro, or maybe for another partner. So how can an agent interact with RWAs, in this case, without passing the KYC? So some stuff is already bringing in the space the KYA, but the KYA is not needed. Is needed, but is not enough. So something that we are also putting there as an open source, so everyone is invited to collaborate, is called the ERC 8226. It's called the RAMS, Regulated Agent Mandate. And basically is, okay, if this agent is transacting for me into security space, then he needs to verify the contract, actually the RWA contract, so it can be the 3643 or 7943, whatever, needs to check my KYC or the KYB to see if actually I'm reliable and I can interact for that, I'm eligible. So, we are also, adding a lot of layers of trust in order to allow agents to transact with anything. So that's the future, actually.
Because I think that now the Web3 economy is perfect for machine, and the problem is that the Web2 economy is not adapted for this new type of business, because, it's pretty simple. An agent can open a bank account, a traditional bank account. So I think that it's pretty obvious that this whole new type of economy will be on the Web3 rails.
And microtransactions maybe are not that efficient within banks.
I think moving on, more on the scalability, do you see any blockers right now that need to be addressed for the agentic economy to actually move forward? And do you think the future of blockchain will be agents, and then there'll be minimal human interaction? And I listened to a fireside chat an hour ago, and something key that Lorenzo, the co-founder USDT, said was that the chains aren't fast enough. Because if you think about it, agents will be doing tens of hundreds, thousands of transactions, and some of the chains right now only do 10, 15,000, and we need to scale that even harder for them to specifically have those rails. So I'd like to hear your opinions on that.
I will move the problem more on the adoption side. Like you mentioned that the use cases are mostly related to tech people. You need to be a geek to be, using an agent and interacting with one of these services that are online. And I've been trying to do some work that gave me some background on what's the current status. To me, for example, I tried building an agent that could book for me a flight using, of course, a crypto wallet so that it could be really fully automated, searching for a flight and whatever. The problem is not building the agent and searching the flight, is making sure that the service that can book the flight for me accepts, let's say, USDC, USDT, whatever. The same can go for, ordering Amazon products. Unless these services that are out there, these APIs and products adapt their own infrastructure. It's gonna be hard because if somebody like me, for example, I see potential in a new use case of, again, booking flights with agents. I want it to be fully autonomous. I don't want to build everything related to the flight booking. There's somebody that I'm sure already did that, but they are not yet transitioning to these new type of things. I hope that Stripe is gonna drive most of these, by the way.
Yes, because Stripe is also building the wallets for AI agents, and so I think that this will be a pretty good use case. I mean, in my opinion, the most simple use case is the one of Morpho or decentralized exchange for the machines at the moment, because there no need no KYC and all the stuff like this. And so basically, really the Web3 economy is built for machine, I think. Yeah, at this time, we are entering a new type of Web3 era where all the agents will be on Web3. Because it's pretty simple. You have all the advantages of the machines in the Web3 economy, programmable, and all the stuff like this. And now we are building the machine for helping us to do all the stuff. So basically, it's pretty simple use case.
No, that's really interesting. And I wanted to move forward as well with the AI agents. Like agents can buy, like you said, but what happens when AI agents meet regulated finance? How, from your experiences, what are either the challenges or how does that even work? Because it's not a human buying it. There must be different kind of regulations behind that.
So I think that the regulation is not ready for this new type of business. We are in a gray area, like the first year of blockchain. I mean, we are thinking about business of machine and not humans. So all the stuff regarding the humans will not be applying to machines. I mean, basically, as I told before, a machine cannot open a traditional bank account, cannot do a KYC, because it's pretty a machine. Is also written in the books of law that only humans can do this type of stuff. So basically, we'll need a huge regulatory stuff. But before this, I mean, we have to find the right business use case in order to adapt this agentic AI economy.
I think that regulation is always, behind. That's a problem. I mean, we see it, and with technology, I mean, we are going really fast, but then we cannot operate. And before there was UniCredit talking here, saying, hey, 2 years is a short-term short horizon to really operate. It's like, unfortunately, maybe yes, okay. Especially in Europe with regulation, I mean, we are completely like a risk adverse, something that maybe in the US is not like that, or China will be not that way. When agents meet regulated finance, actually, I mean, they are today already making trading, so we have trading agents, but actually we are not tokenizing. So the regulated finance, what we do, it's still really hard. What Lorenzo before with Block Invest was saying is it's not hard. There are not POCs. I mean, there are really actual tokenization out there. Things are moving better than before. Clarity Act was a good sign. Like one week ago, 2 weeks ago, actually, we got the penultimate step forward. So the thing is, I mean, we need a standard trust layer, the RAMs. We need to build today for the agentic economy of tomorrow, because we have to building all together. And actually, I mean, I would like to see more participants actually in this standard, like the 8004 as well. The people is really bringing a lot of value there in the trading of Ethereum Magician, etc. So it will be there, and we are building it now. We will see this happening maybe in 3 years from now with real volumes actually. Because as soon as we have the tokenized assets, then the agents will be already there.
That's awesome. And is there anything that I haven't asked you guys that you think the people should really know, whether it's from your backgrounds, from your projects that you're building, that essentially enables the future of the AI agents working on chain?
I'm gonna take it. Okay, so from Brickken, we are tokenizing RWAs, so any kind of asset. And there is the universal RWA standard, 7943, that is a flexible I mean, a smart contract on top of all the others, okay? This is for assets. This is our vision. Second point, okay, what if we have agent tokenizing and trading, actually, regulated finance products, so securities, and then we need this standard, okay? And then the last one, everybody's talking about vaults, okay? Vaults in RWA is equal to funds, okay? So they are really heavily regulated. In that case, if we want agents to rebalance vaults, that is some really cool case, actually, use case, we need another standard. So we need to allow agents to read all that information of the securities assets inside of the vaults and allow them to transact between one vault and the other. So we really need to make that metadata readable for agents. So I think, I mean, a lot of things are missing, but we are really redefining the future of finance because it will be agentic. And if software is dead, then we need to build infrastructure, and this is what we are doing.
Yeah, I would just encourage everyone to start or try building an agent with Claude, Codex, like whatever, like it's going to be easier and easier and easier. There's a lot of like resources that you don't even have to check yourself. You can send an agent to like read a documentation or whatever, and it figures it out. And you will learn much more doing that instead of just listening us here, probably. Because of course you will see exactly where are the bottlenecks when it comes to building something that might be useful for you. I mentioned the flight use case, but there could be like a ton of them. And maybe in one of these experiments, you find an opportunity that is not being addressed already, and you might take over it.
Actually, Ton is going big on agents.
Yeah, basically with Unflat, we are building the deposit account on stable for human side, but on the other side, for machine side, we want to build the banker for agents. So when agents will have the money to manage, he will know how to spend, where to spend, in order to be a helper in the financial stuff of the human control.
How do you teach an agent to manage capital and prevent it from blowing itself up or like losing everything?
It's a matter of error and retrying. So basically, the more data you have, more are trained, and more your infrastructure is perfect. So I hope that my infrastructure will be used at a lot of agents, so it will be the most important infrastructure and the most perfect. But basically, it's a matter of try and fail at the moment.
Okay, interesting. So from your perspective, where do you see, let's say, us sitting on this panel next year? What has changed and what have you hoped is going to happen next?
Basically, my big idea is that this type of stuff is not only for the tech guy. I mean, next year will be also some commercial guys or business guys that are trying to do this type of stuff. Also bring some capital on chain, more capital on chain. We need more capital. And so basically, so spread the words and spread the technology.
Same question goes for you both.
I think there will be, this bottleneck that I was mentioning, I think and I hope it will be filled because everybody will be running an agent, and if you're selling something and you're not selling it to an agent, you're losing a big market. And so like next year, maybe we can talk about the coolest thing you bought, your agent bought for you.
I like it. My vision is 1 year, I have no idea. 6 months, everyone is having an MCP, that is an API for agent, and also a CLI. So that means that you can, from your chat, saying, hey, I want to launch a token, I want to buy this, I want to tokenize there, and you will be able to do it. So you don't even need to build an agent. Ask to the agent how to build an agent to do that for you. So, yeah.
Very interesting. And we're getting close to near the end of the talk, so I thought I'd open it up. But before we do, what's the boldest claim that you'll be able to defend next year on AI agents?
What?
The boldest claim.
Difficult question.
Like what? Like
Yeah, exactly.
So, for
What's your
example,
bold
okay, my bold disclaimer, I fundamentally believe that AI agents will absolutely replace most payment systems next year for sure. Like anything, pretty much.
I think the agents will be our next banker. We will not have a human personal bank advisor next year, but we will have a robotic financial advisor.
I like that. I like that. That's a good one.
Next year, maybe it will be the 10% of the transactions in stablecoin moved by agents.
Okay, that's a good one as well. Okay, I agree with that.
I don't know. What it could be. I think like something that for sure like we will need to. I don't know if it's my boldest claim, but I would love that to be the case. That like these agent identity and trust that we've been talking about is gonna be for real. Because right now it's all like very experimental, and so we say that we are building trust and reputation, but it takes time.
Yeah.
So hopefully next year we are talking about real trust.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And let's open up the questions to the public. Bam.
Hey, Michele here with Transio. I'm in the business, by the way, Limone, if you want to talk later, to wrap travel APIs so they can accept crypto, so we can talk about it. But I have another question. So if you ever try to sell anything that you said to companies, and I do as a business, I encounter a blocker, which is when you talk to an individual and you say, yeah, you have your wallet, you can bring it that money that you have already, crypto that you have already on chain, it works. When you talk to companies, you have to tell them and to educate them to tokenize their money with on-ramping or whatever. And that becomes instantly a blocker because they need to open a kind of secondary accounting. So instead, a finance department which will block it and say, yeah, but they don't want to even care about stablecoins because they're not MiCA regulated, they're not the equivalent of currency yet, etc. How do you see those forecasts, those bold claims that you're having, match when it's not selling, or it's not an individual trading, it's not an individual using your services versus a company? So do you see in the next year business adoption as a thing, or we need to still wait for regulation to catch up?
What I see, I mean, we need regulation, otherwise it cannot happen, simply. The thing is, I don't know. I mean, what we do, what I see is that we are in a big transition. This transition from off-chain to on-chain is the biggest pain in the space. I mean, I tell you, because of the fees, because of the user experience, etc. Today with the MPC wallets, it's way better. And actually, we do and perform that reconciliation on-chain. The thing that I can tell you, based on data, is that once that door is open, then the people is moving faster on chain because they see the advantages. So I really hope this adoption is increased, and once we have the majority there on chain, so everybody can trust, and again, it's about being risk adverse, then we will see like this big change. But yeah, we need to be on chain to use all this technology we talked about. So
I think that business is a very slow adoption. First of all, because we need to teach to them what are stables and how to manage stables. There are some good use cases like cross-border payments, but for the moment, very small companies, I mean numbers, are trying to do this type of things. So I think that it's a step-up process. So before we need to educate them, to need to them what is a stable, how to manage a stable, and after we can think about agents and all this cool stuff. But I think that for the B2B sites is pretty a nightmare at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it's related not just to, let's say, on-chain agents adoption, it's about on-chain adoption. So if we cannot convince a business to move their accounting on-chain because maybe the use case is not clear or is not actually relevant or useful for them, there's not like a real advantage, they will simply not move. So maybe maybe agents will help with that. I don't know, because maybe they unlock like use cases that for real like would haven't been possible without this. But still I think it's a broader problem.
If I can add something, we can create agents, maybe someone here is already doing it, to make reconciliation. So all that accountability from on-chain, off-chain, etc. The agent can go on-chain, get all the data, and work for you, or maybe offer this service. So it will be cheaper and easier. So this maybe will open the door and make easier to get that access.
That's awesome. Thanks, guys. There's also one more question, I think, over the going microphone.
Yeah, it's me. So I don't quite get the problem on the identity of agents, because before we were talking about like every agent at one point will get its own identity, its own bank account, its own email. We already have projects like this, like Agent Mail, that is one of the last YC batch. But the thing that I don't get is, why do agents need to have their own identity when we can delegate our identity? Like when you buy on Amazon, you know that most of the times you are not getting scammed because it's Amazon. Like if I buy something on, I don't know, I'm gonna scam yourhouse.com, I know that I'm not gonna get anything. So right now I'm seeing that we are trying to create a problem with identity that it's kind of already solved. Like we have KYC that is for people. We have agents that act on like behalf of people. So why don't we just delegate our own identity to them?
Because not all the agents have somebody behind, like they are autonomous. If you really want to build autonomous use cases, you need a way for them to get an identity without me being in the middle, without any third party being in the middle, because otherwise you are delegating the trust to Amazon or whoever. And so if you really want to see autonomous agents transacting, interacting, whatever, like on-chain, you need these type of primitives that are self-fulfilling.
Okay, it makes sense, but autonomous in behalf of who? Like they are doing stuff for which use case?
I don't know. Like,
okay, it makes sense.
No, I tell you, that's exactly the ramps, what we are building, because it's all about layers. No, so the thing is you have an agent that is 0x, whatever, okay? And then on top of that is now, in this moment, acting on behalf of you, for example. And that you are the second layer that is called the principal, you know? So I have to check if you are eligible or not, but are layers. So if you want to interact with an e-commerce, you need another layer that is another standard, etc.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that standard, I think it's gonna be the merge between like the agent that is doing something and for who the agent is doing that something. So I think that's the most important part on the identity side.
Check it, 8226.
Okay, gotcha. It's already a standard, or it's a proposal?
It's a draft going in review like in the next few weeks, and then we'll stay there for a couple of months at least.
Okay, nice. Thank you, guys.
Do we have time for one more question, or I think
if there is a short one?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know who's over there.
Oh, you can shout it. I'm too far away.
Second question is like, what is your favorite agent as of today? And I guess just if I can add, I think like on the identity is also like, what if an agent creates an agent that then like the agent gives identity to the other agent? It's not always the human, so I guess that's an important point to make. But yeah, thank you.
It will be the son of the agent.
Yeah.
So good guys, because we work also with Taiko. They are also into agentic economy as well. And what was the question again?
on the OKX.
Yeah, exactly. So there will be like a huge competition about like payment standards. I mean, like we see with exchanges, in anything with the layer ones. So actually, Rails is another layer one like Taiko, etc. So the thing is, here we are in a hyper-competitive space, and everybody will try to build their own thing if it's not open source. So
I think I didn't have time. I didn't check yet this new OKX standard. I think that Stripe and MPP and Tempo, they have an unfair advantage with respect to anyone else in the market, simply because they have already a network of merchants selling ton of things online. And so it's just a matter of like getting them up to speed with all these upgrades to the payment methods that they can start accept. And I'm sure that they will also make it so it's very easy and they don't even see what's happening. So that to me, and you know, I see a lot of chatter on X also about, of course, like Tempo being another L1, being permissionless, like whatever. But MPP per se is not, does not give you like a lock-in on the payment method. Like you can extend it with whatever you want. It's an open standard. And I think that's the way. Of course, like on that open standard, when you go like reading the MPP documentation, you will see like baked in and maybe like featured the Stripe payment methods, because of course that's what they want to push. But then people are free to build something on top of it, and it's fine.
And again, it's about the marketplaces. Now we were talking, so it's about volumes, it's about accessibility. So where are the APIs that you really need? What standard are they used and built on? So I think the adoption also will drive in that direction. You know, and we saw it there. Tons of standards, but then just a few are really used.
Yeah, I think that the next billion startup will be the one that will have like an Amazon for agents. So basically like the Bazaar one that is building Coinbase, but better and with no one under it. I mean, a true decentralized Web3 marketplace for agents will be the next big things. Because we are building it, we want it, but they have to know how to deal with all these type of new things.
Bam. Thank you very much, everyone. I would like to give a huge round of applause for our guests. And if you have any questions for them, you can find them. And yeah, have a great day, guys. Grazie.
Thank you.